They do. Today, we're digging into 5 corporate giants that looked absolutely unstoppable, hit these insane valuations, and then it all came crashing down. Why? Because their entire success was built on a lie.
First up, you've got Enron. For a while there, everyone thought Enron was the most innovative company in America, a real titan of the new economy.
Then, of course, there's Theranos. You remember them, right? The Silicon Valley darling that was going to change healthcare forever with just a single drop of blood.
And of course, a much more recent one, FTX. The crypto empire that told us all it was the safest, most trusted way to get into the future of finance.
So what do these massive flameouts all have in common? Well, it turns out they all follow this pretty fascinating and, frankly, destructive pattern. It's a story of seduction, deep deception, and ultimately, total collapse.
Okay, so let's get into it. Every single one of these stories kicks off in the exact same way. It starts with this brilliant, world-changing idea, an idea that just feels too good to ignore.
Just look at Theranos and its charismatic founder Elizabeth Holmes. Her pitch? It was just so powerful, so simple. She wasn't just building a company, right? She was selling this incredible new future for all of us, for medicine.
And this quote right here, it just nails it. It's an irresistible pitch. Think about it. Who wouldn't want to invest in a world where getting hundreds of medical tests is as easy as a little pinprick? That was the story that had Silicon Valley, the media, and some very powerful people completely captivated.
And the result of that promise? A $9 billion valuation. And you got to understand, that number wasn't based on actual profits or, a product that worked. Nope, it was based entirely on people believing in that story.
In this pattern, it's not just a one-off thing in healthcare. Take WeWork. How on earth does a company that basically just rents out office space get valued like a top-tier tech company? Well, its founder, Adam Neumann, sold it as a tech revolution. He reframed a simple real estate company as this world-changing platform, creating a story that was way, way bigger than the reality.
And just look at the result. $47 billion. For a company that was, at its core, a landlord, and a landlord that was losing a ton of money. It just goes to show you, a great story can be way more valuable than a solid business model. Well, for a little while anyway.
Okay, so the revolutionary promise was the hook that got everyone interested. The next part of the playbook? Building this massive illusion to keep the dream alive. And this is where the real deception, the stuff happening behind the scenes, really kicks into gear.
Enron is the absolute masterclass in this. Publicly, the story they told was all about nonstop success and financial genius. But behind that curtain, the reality was this tangled mess of shell companies and creative accounting, all designed to do just one thing: hide billions of dollars in debt and just straight up invent profits. But, the fraud doesn't always have to be some super complex financial scheme. Sometimes it's shockingly simple. Case in point, the German fintech giant, Wirecard. They were being celebrated as a European tech champion, the future of payments. But the lie they were telling was almost laughably straightforward.
And what's so wild about this is just how simple it was. The company claimed it had almost 2 billion euros in cash, just sitting in bank accounts. But when the auditors finally said, okay, show us the money, well, it just wasn't there. It never existed. The whole thing was made up from thin air.
All right, so you can't keep a lie that big going forever. It's just not possible. Eventually, the pressure starts to build, people start asking questions, and this is the moment the whole house of cards begins to wobble.
And the thing that finally brings it all down, it can come from anywhere. For Enron and Theranos, it was brave insiders, whistleblowers. For Wirecard, it was reporters who just wouldn't let go. For WeWork, it was the intense scrutiny that comes with trying to go public. And for FTX, it was a good old-fashioned bank run, sparked by rumors that sent everyone scrambling for their money. But it doesn't matter what the spark is. The result is always the same. The lie gets dragged out into the open for everyone to see.
And you know what? Once that truth is out, the collapse, it's not a slow decline. No, it's sudden. It's catastrophic. It is total. Years of hype and billions of dollars in valuation can just evaporate, sometimes in days, sometimes in hours.
Just look at FTX. For this crypto empire run by the so-called genius Sam Bankman-Fried, the end came with absolutely terrifying speed. We're talking about a company that went from being seen as a pillar of the industry to completely broke in about 24 hours. Just gone.
Turns out billions of dollars of customer money had been secretly funneled over to a sister company to make super risky bets. So when everyone got spooked and tried to pull their money out, poof, the hole was revealed. The empire just vanished overnight.
And this is maybe the most important thing to remember. When these companies go down, it's not just some abstract thing on a balance sheet. Real people pay the price. You had employees at Enron who lost their jobs and their retirement savings. Investors in Theranos who saw their money just disappear. And of course, customers of FTX who had their life savings stolen. The fallout is just devastating.
So, after looking at all these massive blowups, what are the lessons here? What are the common threads? And maybe the bigger question is, why do we, investors, the media, all of us, keep falling for these same stories over and over again?
This table really lays it out nicely, doesn't it? For Enron, the lie was faking their profits. For Theranos, it was tech that flat out didn't work. For FTX, it was gambling with customer money. And for every single one of them, the consequence was complete and total ruin. So what you start to see is that these disasters aren't just random accidents. They follow a very predictable script. It always starts with a super charismatic leader who's selling a revolutionary promise, something that taps right into our fear of missing out on the next big thing. That hype is then used as a cover for a reality that's either completely broken or totally fraudulent. And from there, it's just a matter of time before the inevitable catastrophic collapse. And all of this leaves us with one last, really crucial question, right? These stories might be from the past, but this pattern is going to repeat itself. So in a world that's just swimming in hype, maybe the most important skill we can have is learning how to spot the difference between a real visionary and a really, really good liar.